Today, we're not just going to read some ancient text. Nope, we're actually going to step inside one of history's most pivotal moments, and we're going to experience it not just as words, but as a living, breathing story.
So think about this for a second. How do you craft a message so powerful that it echoes for 3,000 years? That's the real question behind Deuteronomy chapter 5. And we're about to see exactly how it was done right at the foot of a mountain that literally spoke with fire.
Every great story needs a setting, right? And this one kicks off with a leader, an entire nation, and this moment of just absolute silence, right before their world changes forever.
Now, to really get what's about to happen, you have to know where these people have come from. They've just escaped slavery in Egypt, they've survived years in the harsh desert, and now they've finally arrived right here, at the base of Mount Horeb. This is it. This is the destination.
Okay, so Moses steps forward. Verse 1, he calls all of Israel to attention. Hear the statutes and judgments I speak. Can you just picture it? A huge crowd, hundreds of thousands of people, and they all just fall silent. Then, in verse 2, he reminds them about the covenant, this binding agreement that was made right here. But verse 3 is where he makes it personal. He says, look, this isn't some old story about your grandparents. This is for you. With us, those who are here today, all of us who are alive. He's making it immediate, unforgettable.
And the intensity of this moment is just incredible. Verse 4, Moses says, God spoke to them face to face out of the fire. I mean, this wasn't some quiet whisper. It was a divine conversation coming from a blazing inferno on a mountain. But verse 5 reveals the flip side. The people were terrified. So just imagine this scene. Moses, one man, standing totally alone, is this brave go-between, stuck between a trembling nation and a terrifying, talking fire.
So, out of that fire came a blueprint for living, and the first part is all about one core relationship, the one between the people and their God. Let's break it down.
So it all starts with identity. Verse 6, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. For this, just instantly see these heavy iron chains of slavery just shattering and turning to dust. It's a declaration of freedom. And right after that, verse 7 delivers the first command. You shall have no other gods before me. Now picture a single, massive, empty throne. It's majestic, it's absolute, and there is no room for anybody else. That space is taken.
Verse 8 gets super specific. You shall not make for yourself a carved image. For this one, imagine a sculptor's hammer and chisel ready to strike a block of stone, but they just freeze in midair. The message is clear. Don't even try to capture something infinite in a man-made object. Then verses 9 and 10 lay out the stakes. It's a choice, right? A choice between two different legacies that stretch for generations. One path brings consequences, but the other, it brings mercy for thousands. It's all about the long-term ripple effects of their loyalty.
Verse 11 is all about respect. To really lock this in, picture someone speaking God's name carelessly, but as the words leave their mouth, they just turn to dust and blow away. The point is, the name has weight. It has substance. It's not meant to be used lightly or emptily. Now we get to the Sabbath. Verses 12 to 14 command a day of rest. So picture this, a fast-motion video of 6 days of hard, intense work, plowing, building, cooking. Then on day 7, boom, an abrupt, total stop. Everything and everyone, men, women, children, even the animals, is in complete, peaceful rest. And verse 15 gives us the why, and it is so profound. Remember that you were a slave. The Sabbath isn't just a rule. It's like a weekly reenactment of their freedom, a celebration that they are no longer forced into endless labor.
Okay, so the foundation with God is set. Now the blueprint shifts. It's not just vertical anymore, looking up to God. Now it becomes horizontal. It's all about how people should treat each other to build a strong, healthy society.
Verse 16 is the cornerstone of the family. Honor your father and your mother. The image for this is a young sapling, a little tree, growing up tall and strong, planted securely right between two older, sturdy trees, a man and a woman. It's this powerful picture of stability and protection and the promise that when you respect your roots, you build a long and prosperous life.
Next up, we get 4 commands that are basically the bedrock of any civilization. Verse 17, you shall not murder. For this, just see a single candle flame, representing a life, being carefully shielded by a hand, not blown out. Then, verse 18, you shall not commit adultery. Picture a solid, unbroken wedding ring, gleaming, Not a single scratch on it, a perfect symbol of trust. Next, verse 19, you shall not steal. Imagine a hand reaching out for something that's not theirs, but then it pulls back, choosing integrity. And finally, verse 20, you shall not bear false witness. See a person's mouth, and as they speak, out comes a stream of pure, clear water, just unpolluted truth.
And the last one, verse 21, moves from what we do on the outside to what's happening on the inside. This command isn't about your actions, it's about your desires. So why is this so important? Because wanting is the seed that grows into doing. Just picture a person looking at their own home, their own family with this look of genuine contentment. Their neighbor's bigger house, greener field, it's all just blurry and out of focus. The real message here is to find joy in what's yours, not get consumed by what isn't.
So, the 10 commands have been delivered, but the story is not over, not by a long shot. Now we get to see the reaction. This next part is all about the immediate, powerful, and honestly terrifying aftermath of hearing God's voice directly from the fire.
Verse 22 gives us the grand finale of this divine speech. God spoke these words, and then he added no more. That's it. This was the complete message. Just imagine fiery, glowing letters literally carving themselves onto 2 stone tablets that Moses is holding. There's a finality here. These words are quite literally set in stone.
The first reaction from the people in verses 23 and 24 is just pure awe. Picture the faces in the crowd, all lit up by the fire from the mountain, their eyes wide with wonder. They've just seen the impossible, God speaking directly to people, and they survived. It's this incredible moment of relief and total amazement.
But that awe, it melts away fast. It turns into absolute terror. In verses 25 and 26, the reality hits them like a ton of bricks. Why should we die, they ask. Imagine those same faces shifting from wonder to just stark fear. They realize the sheer, deadly power they just witnessed. They're convinced another direct encounter like that will completely destroy them.
So they're caught, right? Between this incredible experience and mortal terror. They know they have to listen to God, but they're pretty sure listening directly is going to kill them. So what do? What's the solution?
And here it is in verse 27. Their solution is Moses. You can just see the elders of the tribes all getting together and pushing Moses forward. They're basically nominating him to be their representative, their go-between. And they make a huge promise. You go listen for us, and whatever you come back and say, we will hear and do it.
This decision actually prompts one last response from God, and this final section isn't about more laws. It's about the heart behind all of them and the path they have to walk from this point on.
God's response in verses 28 to 31 is just fascinating. He agrees with their plan, but then he says this incredibly deep, almost sad thing in verse 29. Oh, that they had such a heart in them that they would fear me and always keep all my commandments. It reveals the whole point wasn't just blind obedience. It was about a genuine change of heart for their own good. And then he officially makes Moses their teacher.
And the final command in verses 32 and 33 is just beautifully simple. Moses boils it all down to 3 clear actions. The visual is simple, a person walking on a straight, clearly marked path. Step 1, do what God commanded. Step 2, don't turn to the right or to the left. Step 3, just walk in all his ways, staying right on that clear path forward to a better life. And that leaves us with one final thought. We've just walked through one of the most famous sets of rules in all of human history. But what if they aren't just restrictive rules? What if this is a 3,000-year-old guide? What if the heart of every single law is simply a path to a better life?